Hello everybody. We're back, except we're not beating our heads against our walls playing Outcome Memories Airport 2. We're just talking about it, which is a much more enjoyable experience.
So basically, we're stuck inside a glass box that is just a few inches away from the wall we usually smack our heads against.
Yeah, it
It's
is.
different, I swear.
It's much more pleasant to smack your head against a glass box versus a concrete wall until you break it, but that's neither here nor there. Tier lists! Everyone loves tier lists. Content slop.
Contents.
This is all ordered, all the characters. Well, the survivors are first, and it's all the killers. Sonic. I need to add one more
For
tier.
you, he is still probably one of the most universal characters in the game.
Yeah. Uh, let me rename this too. For a certain someone on their own specific tier. Sonic. I'd still say they're one of the better characters in the game. Just good all around.
Yep, being able to. Oops. Being able to.
With the removal of Not Perfect, they don't really have a bad map, and even then on Not Perfect, it was just a
Skill issue.
a skill issue to put it in the simplest of terms. Honestly, even if you are good at it, you still get fucked sometimes just by RNG or just a weird feeling, whatever. Yeah, they're really good. Against 2011X, they're still good. Colossus, they are honestly one of the better picks. They can combo stuns really easily, Colossus and Tripwire, without, giving them rage mode. So if you have like a metal, for example, they stun, you extend the stun with drop dash, and it gives them enough time to run away and heal. Unless Colossus has Indicator and Charge Off cooldown, I don't think anything's really catching up to them.
Especially given some of the map's wonky geometry at times, where you'll just get stuck on stairs.
Yeah,
Uh, I guess that kind of goes both ways, really.
yeah. Metal Sonic. Actually, is there anything we want to add for Sonic? Peel Out's really good at saving. Drop Dash is a really good extender, and he's tankier than everyone else because of the dodge meter.
And the buff they gave to us Last Man Standing recently.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I mean, I know why, specifically for Tripwire. Or I guess Colossus, I'm not sure which one.
It could be both. I'm honestly not sure. Metal Sonic. I don't
Oh.
know. One of these two.
I'd argue they're okay.
Yeah. Metal Sonic. Having one life is just a huge problem. Colossus can chunk you really easily. All of his abilities go through your damage reduction, and well, I don't know why. Knuckles gets his damage reduction. Why not Metal Sonic? He has one gimmick and he can't use it. Anyways, I'm not mad. You're mad.
I'd argue the one thing that keeps him out of horrid trash is his active role as basically a minesweeper against Tripwire.
And even then, would I say, hmm, yeah, it'd either be him or Amy as the best mine removal minesweeper.
That
Amy
plays.
has Amy with Blaze and Hammer just being able to avoid damage altogether. So I'd say Metal isn't really that good against Tripwire just because so many of her abilities go past damage reduction. So if you're in chase, he's shit. If you're just on the other side of the map, disarming mines, yeah, I'd say he's good. Good at that. Yeah, 20X, he has the same problems as before. He gets tunneled super goddamn hard. Colossus just chunks him for so much. In Last Man Standing on strategic maps, he cannot catch you. Destructive Charge is way too good as a movement tool. And Tripwire also just chunks you through your damage reduction, which is fun. Sorry, I interrupted you. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say that given that Metal's attack plan is pretty straightforward, there's not a whole lot of deviance you can do unless you just stand at a really high place and pray the EXE never looks up when you charge.
Oh yes, Charge as
There,
well. Colossus and Tripwire can punish Charge really easily unless it's like unexpected and like Chris said, coming from a really high angle. Like Tripwire could just jump over it really easy. Colossus can block and then hit you at with as hit you with M1 as it blocks and then hit you again because of the ragdoll. So yeah, charge isn't the greatest at the moment. Though if you land a charge in Tripwire, will just end any chase. Charge in Tripwire is very good if you actually land it.
If your team is around to actually cover you, he's one of the most valuable assets. The problem is finding a team that is willing to support a metal.
Yeah. Even with a team that supports the metal, if it's someone, especially like 2011X, you're kind of, especially with the buffs, it's really hard to escape. You need an Eggman to just have shield as well. God.
He wanted us to play his game. Now we're playing it. I wish we didn't.
Knuckles. On
Knuckles
it,
is probably once again with Sonic, but I put them in the same tier. They're
on it,
relatively pretty good, well off with each other.
yeah. Honestly, just because of Tripwire, I'd put them down here, but against Colossus in 2011X, I would say they're as good or better than Sonic. I could,
2 out of 3.
yeah. Uh,
Let's see, like
uh,
yeah, I guess Trimpwire. There's like he can't counter the mines or the
Laser.
well, really any of Tripwire's stuff other than the basic M1.
Yeah, Punch doesn't really reduce damage from Laser, considering it already does so little. And then, well, the M1 is... Yeah, Knuckles is just kind of really bad against Tripwire. I played them last night, and I just felt fucking useless.
Yeah, had a front row seat to that.
Yeah, I get it, I'm bad. Knuckles is, honestly, I would say, the second best survivor against Colossus. The best if you want to support your team, depending on like, every map instead of specific maps. He's just the only character that can brawl with Colossus and get away
Yeah,
with it.
he's the most even matchup you could have against Colossus.
Yeah, Metal Sonic could, but again, has a lot of stuff that can go past his damage reduction. Knuckles' punch just reduces all the damage so much. The amount of times I just sit there with punch charged up and he smacks at me. With punch, you either bait out block, which wastes time. He either stays away trying to bait out your punch, which wastes time and makes him stay away, or he hits you and you take so little damage and it wastes time. And if he uses any abilities on you, well, he's wasting his abilities on you, and you're taking like barely any damage. You have like an Amy and a Cream on that team setup, you're just unkillable. And then counter is one the best tools against charge outside of like Eggman's counter because he can go up faster.
Just don't get grabbed.
Yeah. If it wasn't for Tripwire, yeah, I'd put him up here. Just that Tripwire matchup, in my opinion, lowers them so much. Cream.
They're okay. I wouldn't call them map dependent or
I'm gonna
really well off. She still suffers from the same problems of if any killer is smarter for more than 5 seconds, they're gonna go after Cream immediately and get that healing out of the way.
yeah. Honestly, Cream has really good healing. I feel like her movement's probably really good on some of the new maps just because they're so big and open and tall, especially Green Hill. I haven't seen anyone play Cream Green Hill, now that I think about it.
Huh.
So I don't really know if that's actually true. Maybe she's horde trash, and that's why we never see Cream on there.
I
But
mean,
also,
especially
no one ever
around, I
plays
could
Cream.
see that, especially around the main lake area, I could see her getting a lot of use out of those springs.
Yeah, that's the main place I was talking about it. Like, what can even get her during that? God's Trickery and Charge. I maybe you can jump off with Charge, but that's a very big waste of a
Tripwire's
cooldown.
laser, I guess.
Yeah, Tripwire's laser. Double jump at the right angle could. Yeah. Cream, okay. In a really well coordinated team, I'd say. No, I wouldn't even put them that high. They're just okay no matter what. Amy. Honestly, like she has good stuff about her, the team heal, but her stuns don't really. She gets torn apart by Colossus if they decide to go after you. 2011X
Right.
is just well, the best at tunneling. And Tripwire, she's good at disarming mines and hitting them out of laser and mine setup.
Pray you do not get the wrong card combination right off the bat. Like Sonic and Knuckles, just wrap it up. You're not outrunning that.
Yeah. Uh,
Even when you get the God Hand, it's not really much of a guarantee.
yeah. Let me change this map
I mean, it
select.
does let you take 3 hits from Colossus instead of 2, which is nice.
Yeah, she can. She's one of the better characters at brawling with Colossus just because she has the chance at taking 3 hits versus uh Blaze or actually Silver can take 3 hits because he's 5 extra HP for some reason. We'll get to you, you motherfucker. uh, yeah. Before I would like to just re-roll Amy to maybe get like the World and Blaze, but now kind of Shadow and Blaze is just kind of a
Actually,
necessity.
I'd argue, wait, maybe bump them up to map or team dependent. Mainly, I guess, the world. I guess that more depends on being like in a Discord call like we do, but
Yeah,
that's still really valuable information.
yeah.
Plus, generally being able to heal and having one of the few long range stuns.
Honestly, with how fucking big and I think the world lost a lot of value with the new maps and the new killers, just because being able to spot an invisible 2011X is well obviously good. You validate his biggest movement ability, or you don't invalidate it, you make it a lot weaker. But against Colossus, who also just has a map range wide tracker, and then Trip, maybe if the world highlighted mines a bit more obviously, it would be better. That'd be a neat buff to it. Hmm. Yeah, I don't really want to put her up there because I think she can be picked on any map and be picked on any team. It's just she's kind of the tails of this version. Still good, just not the best thing you could be picking. Unless you're like really want them in this tier. But I think someone has to be in this tier, and it's like probably
I
Amy.
could go either way, really.
uh, just because I mentioned tails, let's do them next.
Yeah.
Do we think map
Tails has
kill?
had one of the much bigger glow ups compared to probably any other survivor in the game. Now that he's not punished for existing,
Yep,
he's actually able to put his cannon to use. Mainly one of the better sweepers for mines. Um, Colossus has a much harder time actually getting to him.
yep.
And
The, the, Unlike Mystic Mine, like you just have a get out of jail free card against Colossus. At its best, they're up here, but I think on average they're down here.
yeah,
Uh,
once he gets his carry, I guarantee he'll. Yeah, it was the carry, right? Because he gets the carry in the future along with the ammo switching.
yeah. Oops, I got that wrong. Ah, fucked up everything.
Oh no.
Okay, do that, do that, do that. I don't know if I consider Tails better than Cream.
Depends. I mean, we ran into that really good cremate that one time.
Eh. The only time Cream really is I've noticed Cream is hard to catch is on a YCR, but even then, I was playing Colossus, I could just wait for her to land and then just chunk her really easily. Uh, we can change it later, whatever. Eggman, same as Tails. And team
He
dependent.
he might have had one of the bigger falls from Gray. Well, either him or Amy.
Yeah, map team killer dependent. Like, if you have a medal, they're probably a must. They're not a must pick to enable them against certain killers. You can't just run away. Like on Green Hill, if you're brawling in that beach area and you just decide to run away, either Colossus or Tripwire or 2011X have to. I guess 2011X isn't as bad because they can just dodge trickery once they deal with you, but Colossus and Tripwire have to running to the other side of the map just to kill one person isn't really a good idea. Especially
The
Tripwire since her radar is nowhere near as good as Colossus's.
Yep, it's a lot more area sensitive or range sensitive than the others.
Yeah,
Um, it beeps faster the more noise a person makes. It will still beep even if they're still. It just won't beep as much.
yeah.
But
But
they
yeah,
can. His shield can disable exactly a singular mine, which cool. But I think the most use it's gotten out is probably the same that it has before, namely with
yeah, yeah. It's a you save it exclusively for when they're charging. That's really it. Like you
double
hear,
jump has um would we say double jump has gotten slightly weaker now that well literally one of the other killers has it now?
eh, kind of. I'd say it gets weaker just due to the hitbox shank. Me and Chris went
Eh,
into a private lobby off stream, just like it's a full circle around Colossus and Tripwire instead of the smaller hitbox 2011X has, but it's just in front of him. That
that
makes it.
shit hits like two colossuses away from behind. Like that shit's not okay.
That's not okay, man. God, a lot of these tiers, I wish I could rearrange this in a different way because I'd say Sonic and Knuckles are about equal, but like on the situations where Knuckles is good, Sonic is good, but he's worse. But on the situations Knuckles is bad, Sonic is better. Because when you look at this at a glance, it makes it seem like, oh, Sonic is better than Knuckles, which I think isn't true at all. Uh, you know what? I'm just gonna remove this tier and have it like this. Also makes
Yeah,
the
that seems about
tier,
right.
yeah, also makes the tier list easier to just look at. Blaze.
I mean, also I would say that oh wait, okay, well first Blaze, yeah.
Yep.
Um,
Blaze, I
Blaze is my new favorite character in the Survivor side. She's
same.
so incredibly consistent. She doesn't have any super glaring weaknesses, but she doesn't have any overwhelming strengths either.
Yeah. Like, kick is really good. It's a worse stun than Knuckles' punch, but it is better movement. And then, spear is eh,
If
I would,
you're on a flat surface, it can be really good.
yeah. Also, if you chunk the killer at like a lower angle, I've noticed they.
Oh yeah. The my only gripe with Blaze in her kit right now is that once you hit above 50 in the soul gauge, you lose access to the spear until you dump it for either a powered up soul boost or the flamethrower. I kind of wish that was on a separate button.
Yeah, either make it a separate button or give us a button to switch around which ones you're using. Because like the abilities are really good, but there are times where I would rather use spear over the flamethrower, and I'd rather use the normal kick over the powered up. I guess there isn't really a situation where you'd want to use the weaker kick versus the more powerful one. It's just conserving gauge. Yeah, my point I almost forgot about. Uh, Blaze's kick is just a side grade to Knuckles, not as good as a stun, but better movement. Her spear, I'd say, is a side grade to Tails'. It's a lot weaker on average, except in that situational thing I said with, Chris and that one angle at the other side of the map, whatever. And then it's also on a much shorter cooldown. Heck, even with the flamethrower, Blaze is one of the better mind clearers. They become invincible. It's just a constant hitbox. It launches, and you just push the EXE around, which is fun. Also, has the benefit of stalling 2011X if they don't use an ability and not giving them rage. I think stuns that don't give rage just automatically pump them up in value. Even though you rarely see 2011X, he's still really powerful.
Boy.
Yeah. Do you have anything else to add?
Um, no, not in particular. Mainly because I kind of just want to get to the rat over there. There's a lot to say about him and his design.
He's better Eggman. That's all he's better Eggman with amazing stun, and the only thing I'd really complain about is the rocks, and actually the only thing I can complain about is the camera when using your projectiles, because you're kind of using
It
silver
covers it. His badass head covers the entire screen. Like, I need my aiming reticle. Thank you. It doesn't
Yeah,
help that the rocks wanted like a weird arc, or I guess not weird. It's just I can't tell if it's the same as Amy's hammer arc. It might be a bit steeper.
it might be. Also, hello Kayla, hope you're doing well today. We're talking about the Tierlist thing, Mabob. Let's see, Flight is just the best
Eight
move in the
seconds.
game. It recharges really fast. I'd say it's better than Triple double jump.
He
The only
arguably got. He has more infinite loops than Eggman, I'd argue.
Yeah, on YCR, if you're playing Colossus, they can pretty much just perfect loop you. I've noticed. Like I've gone up against like two or three silvers as Colossus on that map, and I can't keep up. I physically can't. I'm doing my movement as perfectly as I can, and their side gauge recharges way too fast.
I don't get why they bother giving them two separate gauges, one for the side gauge and the other for his flight gauge. He gets two separate resource dumps, basically.
Yeah,
It's not like the telekinesis gauge or the ESP gauge refills that slowly either, all things considered.
yeah. It's for how
Then again,
powerful.
I'd also say that the other gripe I have with him, not in the overpowered sense, but just weird design choice, is the recall ability. It
Yeah,
basically burns your entire meter to send you back to where you activated it from, but it's extremely telegraphed, and you kind of run the risk of getting whacked out of it when you're teleporting back if the EXE becomes aware that of what you're doing, or they could just wait there at where you started it
you can cancel
and
it.
stack
So
a free hit
if
off of that.
you can cancel it. So if they wait there, you just get out of chase for free. That's I guess the right play against it is just to follow them and predict when they're going to recall, so you can smack them as they do it. But even then, it just gets out of chase. Silver has way too many get out of jail free cards and has honestly the best stun in the game. Rock is
It's
really
not
good.
even really close.
Yeah,
It's a stun, but or like it's not technically classified as a stun, but its displacement is so huge that it might as well be the same duration as a
yeah.
stun.
It's
Because
a
by the
bet.
time you run back to where you were, they're gone.
Yeah, it's a better version of Blaze's spear, which is already a really good projectile. You can keep them in place, then throw them in a direction that's, well, they have to commit a lot of resources getting back to you, and then, well, the gauge is charged again, so just fling them
Not to
off
mention
again or
you need to
fly
set up
away.
for other stun.
Yeah.
God, even my dog hates them.
Yeah. Okay, so this doesn't turn into the Silver Rant. Let's go on to Killers. Yeah, let me rename this. Best of the best. Honestly, like I kind of want to put him here.
I mean, yeah, they might have over buffed him a little in
Yeah,
some ways. His
2011X.
speed.
Yeah, 2011X wasn't a bad killer before. They were just a bad beginner killer. And well, for people like me and Chris who were forced to main them for 5 goddamn months, we can kind of be menaces on them. Like the only times I feel like I'm doing bad on 2011X is when I'm using charge, just because it's so much faster than I'm used to. I can't really hit anything. At M1, just because it's a smaller hitbox than these two, so it's fucking with my muscle memory for playing so much Colossus.
Like, holy shit, like fucking 2011X got his cup of joe in the morning now because the speed at which Charge goes, that shit keeps up with Eggman's dash. That that is not okay.
Yeah, God's Trickery is it's just as good as before. It's RNG dependent on whether you hit it. Honestly, 2011X is one of the killers best suited for actually beating Silver, as long as his kit doesn't break. Honestly, depending on how unlucky you get, he'd be below Amy just because the game is bugged right now, especially on Mystic Mine. I've noticed the
Yep.
most your abilities just will turn off. Your one turns off. But outside of that, because that's obviously not intentional, I hope to God it isn't. Yeah, he's up there with Silver.
Once that gets buffed out, he's undeniably going to be well. He's not weak anymore. They wanted us all to play his game,
Yeah,
and
he's
boy, he certainly gives us a reason to now.
yep, best killer on new maps. Best at dealing with who I'd say is the best killer in the game. Rage mode is still really fucking good. Uh, yeah, just he's good. Long story short, he's good. Colossus.
I would say I
I,
would
w-
argue.
I want to put him
I
here,
mean,
but Silver exists makes me not want to put him here.
yeah, Silver almost entirely exists to hard counter this guy.
Yeah, honestly, without Silver, he's up here, debatably up here. The only thing holding him back is some of the maps in the collision.
His
But
main thing is his collision and combos that really need to be addressed. You take those away. Actually, is it fair to judge them based on what the, I guess, balanced out version would be or what they currently are?
what they currently are,
Okay, yeah, with the
his
those
combos.
combos, he punishes the tiniest mistakes.
Yeah. On X's Castle, he's up here. He's better than 2011. He's better than Silver. He's better than Tripwire. He's just the best killer in the game, in my opinion. But just due to the maps and Silver existing, I drop him all the way. He's on the bet. He's in the middle. Like he can either be here or he can be here. Like his combos can just one shot. The only character that he can't one shot is Silver because he has 105 HP. Honestly, Blaze should have gotten that 105 HP considering they're meant to be, engaged with the killer. But no, let's get to the long range guy with the best movement in the game. Fucking
Support
Silver.
character.
Yep. Honestly, Silver feels like a character that should have 95 HP, not 105.
Yeah, that
Uh,
support's whole thing was that they have high utility but are generally frail if you can actually reach them.
yep. Uh, God. Silver might be hated. And Tripwire.
And then we get the tripwire. Yeah, this one's probably mostly going to be on my end because yeah, no, you still haven't touched tripwire at all. I would argue tripwire is overtuned for what they
Yeah.
are.
I wouldn't
They are a
say.
trapper archetype character with incredible, close range and a long range beam.
Yeah.
He, she's able to just ignore the mines entirely. I'm not saying the mines aren't great. They're honestly the most fun part of her kit, but
Yeah, just locking down exits is.
you saw the shit I pulled last night.
You blocked off like three exits, and you'd have to be chunked for like 75% of HP if you want to go through it. But I, hmm, I think against a good team, Tripwire does worse because I've noticed times where, yeah, they just get completely riddled on like more open maps where you can't really use the landmines too well. Like,
I'm also thinking about like just then again, I'm not sure how much of my thought process here is just like on paper it sounds really good because like reach out, you might have noticed it by now, like the shield she gets when she's using reach out.
she
If you
can't
stun
stun.
her, it will damage you.
Yep.
It will stop the move, but it damages the person who's stunned,
Yeah.
which isn't great.
Yeah. Honestly, I compare it to 0.1 2011X, just a bit less punish, but with a bit of a lower skill floor. She's not broken, but her kit's just unfun to fight against, that makes it powerful. Like that grapple is a guaranteed hit. There's no wind up to it. Yeah, tripwire in the kit's really good. Oh shit, what was my thought process? Yeah, the grab, there's no charge up whatsoever, so it doesn't really feel good to get hit by. You can't stun out of it unless it's a long range stun. Well, a teammate can't stun Tripwire out of it unless it's a long range stun. So if you don't have a Amy or Tails, well, you're just chunked full of that damage. The landmines, I'd say, are fair, but placing like all 10 of them on someone's corpse is
A bit much.
yeah, it's a bit much, and there's not really much counterplay to it. You just bounce around and get comboed.
In
And
fairness, that one, you went into my room. I was locked in there. You you guys had every opportunity to leave me to suffocate in there, and on you can't run
yeah,
in
we
the
were
spawn room.
I
And
was just
I turned it into a bouncy house.
yeah, that one's just us having fun. That wouldn't work on most situations.
Yeah, no. It's setup time. I'd argue that maybe it would make her worse overall, but if you wanted like a more balanced tripwire, I'd argue ditch the beam because one, you're a trapper. You don't need that range shit. Just
Yeah.
double down on the mines. Maybe reduce the amount of time it takes to arm one, so you have a faster setup, and then just I don't really know. Maybe balancing ASIMs is hard. Okay.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm under the opinion Tripwire just needs a full rework. It should have been Fleetway instead of Tripwire that released. Again, Tripwire just I think needs a full rework. They're not a very good trapper. That isn't me saying they're a bad killer, they're just the landmines feel like an extra thing rather than her main gameplay loop.
They're the
Eh,
Z Broly from fighters of this game. They fill more than one archetype that they're supposed to, and it just kind of throws their entire game plan off and their balance.
yeah, they're a long range character, they're a zoner, they're a rushing character with that double jump. God.
They have everything, and I'm not sure what they really lack other than because they got really great crowd control, and by extension, really great, solo target stuff.
Yep.
Um, I don't know what she possibly lacks, and also, I mean, no disrespect if one of the devs happens to be watching, but when you said that you were pushing back Fleetway because you made them too similar to Tripwire, I feel like that should have been a sign that maybe you designed Tripwire wrong.
Yeah,
Because
Tripwire.
in what world does your Trapper become a Rushdown character?
Yeah. God, Tripwire doesn't even look completed. Like, uh, her animations are nowhere near as polished as Fleetway. That makes designed her definitely
She doesn't.
after Fleetway and finished her after Fleetway. But yeah, this isn't entirely. This is an entirely different topic and stream slash video.
Yeah.
Anyway, would we reorder any? God, Colossus is so inconsistent. I can see them being here. I can see them being here, but I don't think they're on the same tier as Tripwire.
Would you put them above Blaze but below Sonic?
Yeah, I can see that. Sonic's good everywhere. Colossus isn't good anywhere. Everywhere. Not anywhere. He's good in a lot of places.
Actually, not to mention that weird double hit thing you can do with his block, where you can attack through his block and then score a second 50
Yep.
damage hit.
Yep. God, I hate Colossus. He character like that should not be able to combo. God, the only thing keeping in check is the maps in silver. It's just they would be in the tier above everyone else if
Like
Colossus.
hell, if we ever start doing private server matches again, Colossus, since they outright added the TD maps in the private servers, you kind of get a perfect example.
Yeah.
Um, Colossus is a fucking monster on the OG TD maps.
Oh yeah. I'm not gonna judge too much on private server maps considering it's only us two. I'd rather get like a lobby of like 3 to 5 people before we do that. But like,
True.
yeah, those maps were designed for old Colossus, not TD Colossus, who does everything but better.
Like, do we include Fleetway given that he was supposed to be here, or should we hold off on that one?
Hold off. This is just current 0.2, and we haven't had a good chance to fight him. I fought him once. I stunned him once. I got hit by his burst. The one that he can use out of stuns. And then I was bodyguarding the cream, and then people were breaking the Fleetway's ankles, and then they just left halfway through the match, so no way of getting a good judgment in. If I'd have to guess on a whim, I would say up here, but again, until we actually fight them, I'm not gonna judge them at all.
Fair enough. So, oh boy, our tier list. I never thought I'd see the day Amy would be so low.
Yep. They removed her iframes. Give her like a half a second iframe on Hammer, and I think that honestly instantly bumps her up to either here or here.
She has to trade so much when going in for the melee stun.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, that kind of encourages hammer bounce more, but
Hammer bounce is inconsistent and not very good to land. As a stun, honestly, just use hammer bounce as a movement option, and even then, well, bosses can just climb up and tripwire. Double jump is just better hammer bounce in terms of movement. How the Amy has Amy's okay. To preface it's Amy down here. That doesn't mean she's bad. She's still actually decent. Her heal and being able to tank multiple hits from Colossus is good. It's just outside of that, I'd rather have like a Sonic with drop dash and dodge. I'd rather have Knuckles with Knuckles is the only character that can brawl with Colossus. I'd rather have him on. Yeah, the only thing Amy really has is her heal, which honestly, Cream's heal is just better outside of keeping her in place. God.
it's sure Cream doesn't have any self-defense or stuff, but I'd rather take a character who goes all in on something than Jack of all trades master none type deal.
Yeah. And to be fair, Amy against Colossus basically has no defenses either. I would say
Yeah, she doesn't
Hammer.
really have the speed to get out. I mean, if you get lucky with, Tails Shadow or Tails in the Moon, you're fast, but one, in one of those cases, you can't see, and two, you
Charge.
have like a half-second stun, so good luck trying to gain any ground on him.
Oh, look at all that speed boost. Oh, oh, I'm being chased. Let me use my and charge. You're dead. Your
Oh
comp.
no, she got charged all the way down to the bottom tier. Damn.
How the Amy has fallen.
It's not like she's gonna really get any third ability because as of right now, she already has three abilities
Yeah.
with
Uh,
the card draw and the two hammer variants.
you know what? Actually, I'm thinking about the Tripwire matchup more. I want to bump them up. The fact that she's the only character that doesn't have to waste an ability to get rid of that landmine debuff. Oh, I already have Shadow and Blaze. Let me just press the
Oh
reroll
yeah,
button.
you can just basically nullify that completely. And since it's a reduced cooldown timer, you don't even spend that long without a reroll if you really needed it.
Yeah. Honestly, Hammer Throw is good at disarming. It's good at hitting Tripwire out of. Honestly, yeah, Tripwire's existence bumps sub up a tier. Thank you, Tripwire. I don't like her design, but thank you for making Amy better.
She
Yeah,
served a purpose today.
yeah.
And
She's also
yes, we can't be upset with that.
yeah. She also works as a minesweeper with her elf hero. Oh, my hammer's off cooldown. Let me just run right into that. I'm not in any pressure. uh,
Let's see.
honestly, this is an improvement. Before it was like Tails in 2011X down here, and now no one's down there. I don't remember the first tier list. It's the audio fucked up, so I never
Yeah,
uploaded
I'd
it.
argue it's not. I'd argue the game is still far from balanced in any way, shape, or form. But the fact that there's at least an argument to be made for every character now is a good thing.
Yeah. Do we want to play the
Except that
game? Oh.
futuristic fuck up there. I will find your IP address. That shit is not okay.
Do we want to do more tier lists just based on how each character matches up against the current killers?
It's sure get that extra ad revenue or something.
Yippee! Okay, everyone down there. We'll start with the classic for obvious reasons. 2011X.
Everyone's favorite, I think. I could be completely wrong about that.
I'd say this is a good tier list for this. Silver. Yeah, up here with you.
No,
The
that's going to be the situation for every single matchup.
yeah, like they're the only
Like,
ones with stuns that aren't stuns, so it doesn't contribute to rage mode. If they're looping you with flight, it forces you to use charge to actually get any damage in. God's trickery. Honestly, it's the only flight where they can stand still, so you can against a good silver and the colors aren't glitching. It's just it's literally
you
nothing. It
win.
does nothing. On a map like Green Hill or
It,
YCR, they can just jump off the side and force you back onto the low ground where they get to stay up because passive flight is fun. Everyone. This is just going
what
to
did Silver playtesting?
uh, their abilities work. They play tested that, not the balance. Anyways, Knuckles.
What was
Eh,
this? Would he be a must pick? I mean, I mean, he doesn't really have the mobility to escape a chase, but
he
his stuns are long enough to kind of make up for
yeah.
that.
In during rage mode, he does the same thing against Colossus, where you just hold punch to you know pressure. Like they either stay away because Knuckles is one of the few characters that gets full stuns against 21X, and they also still take the reduced damage. If they grab you, it doesn't do reduced damage, but it doesn't take away your punch cooldown, so you can just go back to punching after you mash out. Instead,
Oh, sorry.
always, always good. Let me just rename that so I can put Knuckles there. Because I don't think he's a must pick like Silver is, but they're good no matter what. Sonic. Eh,
I would say always good. Just because, actually, they're in a weird spot because they almost perfectly counter each other's kits.
yeah. Sonic's drop dash is really bad against Rage Mode, but it's also his peel out's really good against Rage Mode. Drop dash is good for extending stuns, but it's also bad because it gives him Rage Mode. After Rage Mode is ended, it's just free extra stuns and free
Drop dash
extra
is also
defense.
just your emergency panic button because of the iframes it gives.
Yeah. Honestly, just do his kit's really good. Their kits are just really good against each other. This is a balanced matchup. These two. Yeah, I don't really have much else to say, do you?
No.
No. Blaze. I'd say the same. Stun. Slows don't contribute to the rage meter, so the flames are even better. Soul Flame is just free knockback with a plus slow. Have to use Invis or God's Trickery to get out. And well, it doesn't rage meter. I'd say they're pretty decent.
Yeah.
And Spear, well, works as a get off me tool without giving rage too. Oh, also you can use Kick to just escape chase or force them to use God's Trickery or Charge to get back to you on certain maps, which is
Or that soul boost to just gain an insane amount of distance.
yep. Tails, actually just yeah.
Tails is the yeah no he is entirely the reason for Tails' current reputation in this game.
Yep. Who would have
If you
thought?
try to do anything with Tails against 2011X, you're just asking to get rushed down and
Yeah.
left kind of bleeding out there.
Yeah, well, Sonic and 2011X have the perfect hits for. They both have answers to each other and honestly are just the fairest fight between each other. Uh, Tails is just perfectly countered.
His flight is too slow to make any actual escapes,
Yep,
both from God's Trickery and Charge.
yep. Uh,
And his
can
cannon requires you to wait an entire minute to play the game.
Yep. It's slow to charge. It requires a whole minute. Versus the rushdown killer who can appear at any moment because of Invis and God's Trickery. Yeah, and then Cream. Cream is good against 2011X. It's just 2011X is really good at tunneling, and Cream doesn't really have a defensive option. And they lost out on the best map being not perfect, so 2011X has a much easier time killing her.
Yep.
Metal. They can. I'd say they range from okay to pretty decent. is the best option for dueling during rage mode, but also he gives rage really easily and also gets tunneled really easily.
Do we count his LMS with how tanky he is?
Yeah, I'd say that too. They,
It's kind of a double-edged sword, actually, because you don't get as much of a speed boost off of getting hit, so you're susceptible to getting double hit a lot.
yeah. Though you do have the healing charge tech where if they activate charge, you just press heal, you get some free HP. Honestly, I'd say they're okay. They can either range from here to here, but someone needs to be in okay.
Eggman,
Uh,
we already know where he's going. I
eh,
would argue that he's almost always good against the 2011X.
I'm trying to think of really good looping spots where Eggman just bullies 2011X, but I just can't. If Old Green Hill was still in the game and YCR, and not perfect, I'd say so. Uh,
I mean, I'd argue YCR still has some pretty good loops.
yeah. It's
Yep. The hmm. Yeah, this was 0.1. I'd say like he's top of the tier list, no questions.
yeah.
But
Honestly,
no,
if you want to play Egg, if you want to just loop them and just make it so 2011X doesn't have a good time and it's for his abilities, just play Silver.
a lot less effort too, unfortunately.
Yeah. Yeah, 2011X just has, with his buffs, I think he has a much easier time against Eggman, but Eggman's still pretty good, but it's map dependent. If you have a metal, they're always good, but I'd say I'd say pretty decent on the high end. Let's just put them in the middle. I haven't fought enough to actually get a good judge in. And the ones I have fought, I just haven't felt super intimidated by. Amy, I'd say pretty decent. The heal is good. Uh the world is really good for tracking them. During rage, just throwing in a random hammer to buy like even just half a second of time is still really good. They're one of the few characters who can tank more than 2 hits in rage mode with the right card combo, and hammer's a lot easier to use on 2011X purely for the fact that it's not as big as a hitbox as Colossus and Tripwire.
Yeah.
And then the killers. And well, they obviously don't rank against 2011X.
Yeah. I got nothing for that.
Do you think this Tierlist is good? Eh,
Yeah, I would say so. I mean,
Metal, I'm debating on
Boy.
moving up.
Yeah, especially because once the rage is out, one, he's the only person that can contend with rage mode, or at least super effectively. He despite being susceptible to getting targeted and rushed down, uh, one, I'd argue that's a problem for against every single killer in the game, and
Yeah,
two, um, the correct support does pretty much enable him to constantly be a thorn in the EXE side, and once rage mode is over, he has basically nothing to fear.
yep. Yeah, we'll bump him up to pretty decent. Let's see. Tripwire, just because they're in order. Sonic. I'd say they're always good.
Yeah, he's well, one of the few people who can make enough distance to get out of range of one her grab and her laser decently effectively.
Yep. Uh, I don't even know who to put up here, because, like, Silver against, like, 2011X is, like, the best option and is always good, but I don't really think there's a character that, just is a must pick against Tripwire. That is, like,
At best, you have just generally effective, but
yeah,
nothing that's going to completely shut her down the same way characters would against not Colossus 2011X.
yeah, yeah. Sonic can combo stuns really well, dodge meter. Sure, Tripwire goes past a lot dodge meter, but it doesn't go past M1, so you can still use that as a defensive mechanic. So they're still
M1 and
tanky.
laser. The only thing that goes past it, I believe, is reach out
Yeah,
or
landmines
the
do
mines.
too.
I'd have to check that last one again.
The landmines do, yeah. Honestly, Tails is pretty decent. If they get caught out, they don't have many defensive options, but his cannon's good at removing mines, though I wouldn't recommend using it purely for that. Just like, oh, let me stun tripwire real quick. Oh, there's a few mines nearby. Let me just flick around to them. Okay, back onto tripwire, and yeah, they're decent. The only thing that doesn't put them in always good is because well, tripwire can tunnel really easily.
Yep, that would
I
definitely do it.
I think when Not Perfect comes out, I think Tails will be better against Tripwire just because. Oh, let me fly under the map. Tripwire can't double jump up there. And
Yeah,
if they do, well, oh, they got a single 25 damage hit, but you're on the other side of the map now because you fell in the void.
have fun.
Have fun. Cream. Honestly, I'd say they're
Um,
pretty decent. It's a lot easier to
she's the
hop.
core that enables so many strategies to be effective against tripwire.
Yeah, Tripwire is basically the gimmick is just chip damage. If you don't have any recovery, she's going to feel oppressive to fight against. But if you have an Amy or a Cream, you're just constantly getting healed. And Tripwire, unless you're hard tunneling someone, they can't really kill you super easily. Like, oh,
She's just
I finally caught out the Cream. Oh, there's a metal charge. Oh, there's a drop dash. I've completely lost them, and all the people I damaged are now full HP, and I can't. God, 2011X had that same problem, but with Tripwire, honestly, it's even worse.
ay ay ay.
Speaking of Amy, I want to say they're always good.
Yeah. Once again, the healing is very nice. Long range stun that not only actually gives her some ranged counterplay against the ranged trapper. I'll never stop complaining about that. It's
Yeah.
also a really good mind diffusal.
Yep. The only bad ability I'd say quote unquote bad is her normal hammer swing, but it still has uses. You sneak up behind tripwire as they're using laser, you cancel it. Uh, hammer
Or
bounce
placing a
is
landmine.
yeah, that too. Hammer bounce, honestly, hammer bounce I think is kind of useless. Full jump just invalidates it. Metal Sonic. Tripwire
Metal.
counters
Oh,
Tripwire
sorry.
Tripwire does do a lot of full damage against Metal Sonic and ignores damage reduction, but with self heal, it's as long as you're not getting targeted and you're just in the background as Metal arming things or just coming in with sneaky charges. You can't play Metal the same way you do against 2011 X or Colossus. You can't frontline with them. Tripwire will just shred you with everything. But coming in from like a corner she can't see or just from above, that is, you have the best stun against Tripwire. You have the sustain that you aren't reliant on a Cream or an aim to give you. Like, ugh.
And you're basically just you're on mine cleanup duty if you're left to your own devices for the most part.
Yeah. Blaze, uh,
Excellent
honest,
mind diffusal character.
yeah,
Um,
one of the few characters that can hit Tripwire out of double jump with an upwards kick. Soul Flame is good at well mind diffusal as well. They're just all around really good. Knuckles. Yeah, you're fine with this placement, right?
yeah, I
Okay,
I got basically no notes on Blaze. She's just always really consistent.
yeah. Knuckles. They aren't
I'm
good.
not arguing with that one either. You are not having fun with a character that makes your counter practically worthless.
Yeah. Knuckles is good because they honestly they can just brawl. Tripwire doesn't have to engage with you. They can just hit you with chip damage, which is honestly Knuckles' one weakness in my opinion. Oh no,
Yeah, if
laser
you're not as
doesn't.
hyper aggressive EXE, you're just they're perfectly fine to ignore the Knuckles, because it's not like you have the mobility to chase after them and prevent them from going after everyone else.
Yeah. You go to punch laser, she just walks backwards and you miss. You try to hold punch to reduce damage outside of her M1, it doesn't really. Oh no, my laser that does really low damage really fast, or reducing it by like 1 damage per tick. Oh no, what? Oh no, I'm never going to be able to kill you at this rate. I'm pretty sure landmine just goes past punch damage reduction too. I haven't tested it yet because I've one Knuckles game. I don't really want to play Knuckles into Tripwire anymore.
No, that's just generally a bad idea.
Yeah, all of Knuckles' glide techs I don't think really work too well against Tripwire just because double jump is really good. God. Yeah, he just has nothing good against Tripwire.
You had no other notes, just don't use Knuckles against Tripwire. They kinda hard counter him. Would that be a hard counter?
Honestly, yeah. Knuckles just can't do anything. It's basically instead of 2011X hard countering everything. Honestly, Tails against 2011X I'd say is better because at least you could stun them point blank. If they don't have charge on cooldown, you can glide up. You can use your glide, or you can go to really cheesy places that forces 2011X to use a cooldown. The only way you're beating Tripwire's Knuckles is if they're just playing suboptimally.
If
If
your best counter is to wait for the opponent to fuck up, and there's nothing else you can really do, that's a sign you've gone somewhere horribly wrong in the design phase.
yeah, honestly, they're either okay or pretty decent on look. If you have a metal, I think Eggman's good. Eggman can also defuse with a shield, which it's not like you're going to use it to block M1 super often with the laser, so it's not like you're wasting it on mines. He can still get out of chase really easily with his jetpack because Tripwire just well they can't keep up super easily. Double jump is good. It's nowhere near as good as Colossus Charge or 2011X invisibility in terms of keeping up. Eh, where do you think they go?
Um, hmm. I would say, yeah, I'd say okay is probably about where they go. They aren't inherently super strong against them, but they don't have anything that makes them completely helpless either.
Yeah. And Silver. Honestly, they're one of the few characters I think isn't a must pick. But also they
Yeah,
are
I mean they've got the boulders for the mines,
eh,
but
their kits just they're still super good. They can disarm mines. Stasis is always good as long as you land it, but Tripwire it's going to be a lot harder to land anything on. Honestly, yeah, I'll just put him in decent.
the
Flight's
closest you'll get to countering a silver.
yeah. Honestly, I'd say this is pretty decent. For this one, I'm gonna add a new tier.
Here we
I
go.
This is the only one with must picks. Amy,
Yeah, I have no complaints about that.
Amy, they're okay. The only thing keeping them out of you aren't having a fun time for me is they're the only character who can tank 3 hits consistently.
Yep.
Side of Silver. Uh, the regular hammer is really bad. It doesn't have enough iframes to even justify using it outside of like, well, I'm going to get hit. I might as well get a stun out of it and delay my death by like 2 seconds. If you could, honestly, if you could use it out of ragdolling and it had like half a second of invulnerability, I think that would honestly put her up 2 tiers. But unfortunately, she
Yeah,
doesn't, so they're
probably.
an
It would
okay.
actually give her a decent escape chance.
Yeah, being the only character that could get out of fucking combos. Uh, Sonic, I'd say they're always good. Dodge meter allows them to take an extra hit. Drop dash comboing onto other stuns is really good against the character without rage mode. Peel out's
And
really
lastly,
good.
standing against a Sonic is miserable.
Yeah,
if you're playing Colossus.
yeah. Peel out, charge is technically faster, but I'd say peel out's a lot easier to control just for the fact that if you hit a wall, it doesn't end. So like Colossus can theoretically catch up to your peel out, but I think peel out wins like 8 times out of 10. Especially
Yep.
with how many fucking things are in the way on new maps. There's so many things that just glide on and trip over.
Also, just generally got a lot less visibility since Colossus takes up so much of the screen when you're charging.
Yeah. Silver.
God.
I'm just not. There's not even gonna be discussion. We've talked about how broken he is like 20 million times. Blaze.
Blaze, they're pretty competent against them.
I'd.
I'd argue always good. Maybe.
Mm, I'm trying.
I mean,
Honest.
they've got the spear and, or I guess it's maybe the flamethrower that goes through block.
Yeah. But the only reason I want to put her down here is just when she gets caught out. uh, like her kick is a good stun, but if they land a counter on it, or even if you just land it, it's not the get out of jail free card that Knuckles punches or Sonic's drop dash is. Spear is
I mean, your
good.
get out of jail free card is the soul boost, which
Yeah.
basically lets you fly as long as you have meter.
Yeah, but that one's a lot harder to get, unfortunately. Uh, Spear, depending on the angle you hit it, is either really good at ending chase or does jack shit. And then Soul Flame, well,
Yeah.
it's really good at stopping Colossus. It has the issue of it doesn't stun him, so once it's over, he can come. Well, he can go back to chasing you if your team isn't covering you. So I can't. I also just don't think she's as good against Colossus as Sonic is. So I don't really want to put him in the same
Yeah,
tier.
agree to disagree on that one.
That's fair. I do also see the argument for her being up here, but I think just the little things makes her puts her in a tier below. So like I'd say this is right, but
I will accept that for now. We'll also have to see how things shake up once Colossus gets his new passive.
yeah. Uh,
Because then the spear might pick up some more use, since it's not
yeah.
classified as a stun.
Yep. Uh, Honestly, that could also make her worse too, because you land a kick, and then Sonic combos with drop dash, or Knuckles is an idiot and combos because well reduces the time and makes it even easier to catch depending on how your team plays.
Gee, thanks, Knuckles.
Thanks, Knuckles. Anyways, metal. I'm saying this as our resident metal main. I think they're okay. Hmm.
They have a singular way of stunning, and he has an immediate answer to that, and also a way to bypass the. Actually, no, yeah, he's got the block, and he's got his own charge he can use.
Yeah. Actually, I'm not okay putting him in the same tier as Amy. He's one of the. Sure, Colossus has a lot of ways of getting past damage reduction, but uh, he has such good movement, and against M1s, he still is semi tanky. Hmm. And if you land a charge and Colossus already used the radar, you pretty much just get it for free, especially if you have teams supporting you. Like
True.
we were on stream last night, we were fighting a Colossus. Like I was enabling the fuck out of her metal. Even then, like Colossus was right on us. I used shield to get him off, and then I tank a hit for metal, and they're able to fully heal. And well, that just kind of helped win us the game. Because a full HP metal, sure, can get chunked really easy, but so can Sonic, so can Blaze, so can Amy, so can Tails, so can Cream, so can Egg, so can not you. Yeah.
Yeah, that seems about right.
Cream.
Cream.
I want to say here, but because you yourself aren't having a great time, but they are pretty decent. I'd just say they're
Yeah.
okay.
With how much damage they can do, she almost feels necessary, I'd argue. But that
Uh,
doesn't mean that she's really fun to actually
yeah.
be the one doing it.
The opposite. You're taking so much damage where her heal doesn't really matter. Because Colossus can just bring you from 100 to 0.
Right, yeah. The single combo can do that.
Yeah, I'm gonna put her there. A good Colossus Cream just doesn't get any value. Tails, pretty decent, but I'd say it's map dependent. On X's Castle,
Yeah.
don't fucking pick him. On Green Hill,
Do
they're decent. On the caves, they are the second or third best pick you can do against Colossus. And Angel Island, they're okay. They're just okay. Uh, egg. Hmm. I,
Man.
I can
Hmm.
see arguments are always good, but if you have a metal must pick, he's a must pick against Colossus. But if you don't, yeah, just pretty decent. I'm seeing pretty decent as a bad tier because I'm seeing these two tiers above it, forgetting I exclusively made this for two characters who are just honestly the hardest
Uh,
counters to Colossus we have in the game right now.
whoops.
Like Eggman has the movement to deal with Colossus, and as much as sure he can grab through shield, but if you're a smart Eggman, you're not using your shield and you're saving it for charge, which they can't grab out of charge, obviously. Uh,
Thankfully.
Thankfully. Yeah, if you have a medal, honestly, always good, but since you don't always have a medal, pretty decent. And Knuckles,
I'd argue a must pick, yeah.
yeah, he every time I see a Colossus, I just pick Knuckles. Like he's fun. He he is the only character that can brawl with Colossus, which is such a nice change of pace.
It's not even in the bowling sense because you are quite literally the only one that can do it on the team. It's not like old 2011X where everyone could.
uh, like Knuckles' damage reduction applies to every single one of Colossus's attacks. It applies to M1, it applies to grab, it applies to charge. Like the answer to fighting Colossus is just to stand there holding punch. Oh, you're holding punch that you counter? Well, you're wasting the killer's time because they waste an ability and they waste like 5 seconds, just standing there. They you have a punch so
You,
they don't approach you and they wait for you to and they're trying to bait you out to dodge it. They're wasting their time trying to because you're just standing there. You have no intention of hitting this punch. They go to grab you. Okay, cool. They waste an ability because you took like 10 damage from it. And then counter is well, it's one of the few ways to stop charge outside of shield as well.
would
Knuckle,
argue that in certain cases, you are just. Whenever you see a Knuckles punching as a Colossus, you are just better off just running for it and eating it because you can't risk taking up that much time trying to mind game them out of it.
yeah, like the only right option is to run away, honestly, and go fight someone else. But even then, that
Yeah, kind of.
the Knuckles just gets away scot free because you didn't engage with him at all, and punch gets put on a 5 second cooldown when you cancel it. God, Knuckles went from my least favorite character to my favorite character just because he makes fighting Colossus really fun and engaging on both ends. So basically, Silver is sexual harassment and Knuckles is flirting in terms of must picks.
My God.
Honestly, yeah, I like this tier list for Colossus.
Yeah.
Now, Johnny Joy mode, he is a must pick. I'm kidding.
No, 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 no. Let's tear this down.
So basically, he has 500 HP and an invisibility.
And
That
just the literal M1.
Yep.
Let me tell you, no other survivor has that for a reason.
Yeah. But it's kind of concerning that Colossus isn't the only character that has must picks for.
Yeah.
like I that's both telling of how powerful Colossus is with his combos and how powerful some of these survivors are. Knuckles is a must pick in a good way because it's honestly it's fun and engaging for both ends, so I don't care. Silver is yeah, fuck you, you don't get to play the game. Other side of the map with you. Or I'm gonna loop you infinitely because my flight doesn't have a long enough cooldown. Ah, fucking Silver. I hate Silver.
Silver is just such a. He doesn't have a bad matchup. He only has great matchups or okay matchups.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a singular bad matchup.
Yep.
And normally I wouldn't be advocating for like hard counters and matchups, but that's clearly the route that they're going here.
Yep. God, hard counters can be good. Knuckles is an example of this. Silver is a good example of a hard counter is while both players get to engage with the matchup. Like Knuckles, like sure you're reducing all of his damage, but you're still smacking him, you're still hitting him with grab, you're still able to charge him out of punch. You're not doing much damage, but you still are doing damage and you're chipping away at him. Knuckles is honestly the one reason is the only way I could Knuckles existing makes me want to put Cream up just because you give your team's tank extra healing and bring them up to 100. Honestly, Knuckles being here kind of makes me want to put Cream here.
They enable each other.
Trade it. Yeah, I can see Colossus. Eh, honestly, I still think Colossus is better than Tripwire purely for the fact that Colossus has all his combos, but we did that tier list already. Now we're just ranking each survivor against the killers, which we just finished. Cream can be I just want to put Cream up here solely for Knuckles existing. Because if you want to play the game, honestly, you need a Knuckles. It can still work. No, with the combos, yeah, you need a Knuckles, or else you're gonna get ragdolled.
I'd,
Okay,
I'd almost argue that like you need almost a separate icon, like Knuckles solo, Cream solo, Knuckles and Cream together.
Knuckles and Cream together.
Just do some Sonic Advance 2, 3 shit.
Honestly, are we? No, no, no. It's like, does Knuckles existing want me to make me bring Amy up? But no, their heal is nowhere near
No,
as valuable. It's still really good,
that
but
I'd argue it's an extremely hard sell for Amy to go any higher.
yeah. God, all the Tripwire's kit is powerful. It's just the fact that I would. Hmm. Honestly, I think 2011X is the best kill in the game. He's really slept on. Colossus's combos are just way too bullshit. Where I just can't ignore that. Like outside of like Mystic Mine, where Tripwire is probably the best killer.
Hmm.
Even if 2011X wasn't glitched, I'd still say Tripwire is the best killer, just because it's so enclosed and you have so many good mine spots. And double jump is the only way you can really compete with Silver on that map, and Tails
Yeah.
and everyone else.